live show. My name is Chris Au, and I'm so happy and excited to be hosting session 4 of the semi-finals of the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. I'm so excited to be hearing all these contestants today and to be presenting this show to you. So without further ado, let's get this show rolling. Today we present the semi-finals, the session 4 of the semi-finals of the Sound Espressivo Global Competition 2021. This is our second year doing this competition, and it was born from the pandemic as a way for performing artists to perform live for an audience, even though they're still stuck at home. And so far, we've connected a large international community of musicians. In the next 4 days, we'll broadcast performances of nearly 100 musicians, all from all around the world, with the added feature of judges giving immediate feedback after musicians perform. So please stay tuned in, please give comments live, please be participatory in our whole process, and it will give our contestants a really great feeling of as though they were playing live for a competition, but I think it's even better. Our mission here at Sound Espressivo Global Competition is to empower musicians with new tools, enrich their thinking, and expand their horizons, connecting a whole international music community together to collaborate and hopefully leverage one another's skills and values and beliefs to further our music industry. We're really happy that this is an online competition where musicians can be expressive, they can present their talent, their practice, and their individuality. It is also an opportunity to engage audiences from all around the world. We're streaming to multiple platforms from LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, to YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. And we're founded and managed by professional musicians. Sound Espressivo Competition aims to empower artists of every instrument and from all walks of life. Sound Espressivo also gives opportunities for contestants to present themselves to a supportive panel of established veterans in the field. And speaking of these veterans, we have our judges for today. First of all, we have Galina Ivannikova. She is a Ukrainian-born. Hello, nice to meet you, and thank you for helping us. She is a Ukrainian-born American operatic, dramatic mezzo-soprano. She's a voice teacher and diction coach, hailed by critics for her rich, lustrous voice and her passionate dramatic portrayals. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's our complete pleasure. Our next judge I want to introduce is Lynne, a Canadian pianist who's currently based in the Netherlands. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Chris. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. She enjoys an active career in performing, teaching, adjudicating, and speaking. She is the co-founder of the Fearless Artist Mastermind, which will be sponsoring some of our prizes for this competition. Our next judge is Elizabeth Mann. She's coming to us from New York. Thank you for joining us. Hello.
Great to be here.
Lovely to see you. She is a solo, chamber, and orchestral musician, principal flute with the Grammy Award-winning Orpheus Chamber Orchestra, and guest principal flutist from the New York Philharmonic, Boston Symphony, etc. So we're really happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. And we have finally one last judge, Zheyang Jerry Xiong, who's coming to us from Baltimore. Hello and welcome, Jerry.
Hello.
Hello, it's very nice to see you and to meet you. You're coming to us from Baltimore, and I want to introduce you a little bit. I'm just waiting for, yes, you joined the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra in September of 2020. That's very recent, and recent performances include the Schubert C Major Fantasy, as well as being the featured artist and soloist with the Oberlin Orchestra. Welcome, our judges. We're really excited to be hearing a whole plethora of performances from musicians of all ages and all instrument types. So without further ado, I'm going to get our first contestant. Right, our first contestant for tonight is he's a cello player. His name is Kevin Lee. He is 14 and is coming to us from the US. And he's going to be performing Haydn's Cello Concerto No. 2, the first movement of that. And he has nominated himself for the lyrical category. And what does that mean? So this artistic category, the lyrical category, means that he'll be doing a lot of voice leading. He'll try to express himself in a very lyrical way through his playing. Let's have a look at that.
Thank you so much for playing for us, Kevin. It was wonderful music, and I want to point that your instrument can sound full and rich, and I love sound. A few comments that I hear that you need to fix, need to work with your intonations, because sometimes it's not really clear. And also I would like to say that if you will be singing together with your playing, like inside, maybe at the beginning you can even sing loud, it will help you with phrasing, so you can express this music better. So, it will be helping you with the changing dynamics, and it will be more contrast because you will feel better this music. So if you feel, and I believe that your teacher know how to fix your intonation, then more if you will singing, if you will feeling this better, then it will help you dramatically. Also, I like your ensemble with your pianist, and thank you so much for playing. Your pianist is amazing. Thank you for playing with us. It's beautiful music, and you did the best. And I wish you the great in the future. Thank you so much.
Hi, Kevin. I want to say thank you for playing for us. I thought that you were extremely well prepared, and I can see that you're very focused. I think that you are taking this really seriously, and that came through in your performance today. I thought that your technique was really great. I liked your scales. I thought there was a lot of fluidity happening, and I thought your cadenza was really well prepared, and I think you must have spent extra time on the cadenza, right? Yeah. So I would just say a little bit like what my colleague just said. I would love to have some more characters in your playing and some contrast with the different themes. And I agree that singing will really help you, and to have more contrast between the dynamics and what you want to really express with your music. But I thought it was really well prepared, so thank you.
Congratulations. I agree with my colleagues wholeheartedly that you just had a really wonderful command of your instrument. Your scale passages were very natural, very, very nicely stylized. For me, I guess also because I'm a flutist and like Galina as a singer, we have to breathe in our music. The music has to have breath. And that was what I felt, that maybe you were nervous, but you were very focused on playing so beautifully, but the connection to the phrasing and us out here in the audience. Maybe you can make, I don't want you to feel unnatural, but if you can just feel your love of the music and let that come through. Because it felt like, I felt it in the cadenza actually the most, and some of your scale passes were just beautiful. I feel, I'm not a cellist, but sometimes I feel like you can take your time in some of the shifts. Who am I to say this? But I feel like, again, everything can just breathe a little more. And if you're can find your love of the enjoyment of playing, that would be wonderful to project, because you are so talented and I can see you've done just fantastic work. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Kevin. Really enjoyed the performance. I actually I agree with my colleagues, and I'm just gonna express it in a slightly different way. So first of all is about breathing and singing. I think you can be more virtuosic. I mean, it's a very really virtuosic piece, and you can express yourself more. You're the soloist. You're at the start of the stage. Bring it out. And second, also just be a little more sensitive to the harmonic changes, like around section I and stuff. That way, if you feel the harmonic, you can feel the music, and you can play it with more contrast, and you can express your character out even more and naturally. So yeah, just something. And congratulations.
Wonderful playing, Joel. Thank you so much for gracing us with this to start us off. It's always nice to start off with some Haydn. Congratulations on your performance, and I look forward to hearing you more. Keep up the hard work. Thank you. So our next contestant is actually a non-competitor, and here at Virtual Concert Halls, we like to give opportunities for musicians of all kinds to have the experience of playing in a competition. So the judges will be giving him comments, but he will not be an official competitor in the competition. So this is integral part of our mission at Sound Espressivo to provide opportunities for musicians and empower them. Joel today will be playing the second Mendelssohn Piano Concerto, Opus 40, and the judges will be giving him comments afterwards, and he's going to really benefit from having this opportunity. So thank you, Joel. Take it away.
Hi, Joel. Thank you so much for playing for us. I was just wondering how long you've been having this piece in your fingers.
So I started last summer.
Last summer, okay.
Hmm.
So just a few months?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big piece to learn, hey? Yeah, you're doing a great job of tackling this and also playing memorized. I know that's also a big accomplishment, so congrats. Thank you for playing that for us. So I'm a pianist, so I have a couple tips and tricks that might help to make this a little more clean. And what I would really recommend is practicing in rhythms. Is this something you're familiar with?
Yes.
Okay, so I have like a set number of rhythms, and I like to do dotted rhythms, or I like to practice staccato, just to make sure that every finger has its own finger speed, because I think you need a little bit more clarity with your fingertips. I think you can talk to your teacher about that. And I would also just recommend that you have a lighter touch. So when I was in Germany last summer, I got to go see Mendelssohn House in Leipzig, and I got to actually try Mendelssohn's piano. And what really shocked me was how easy it is to press the keys. It's much different than our pianos today. The big piano that you're playing on right now is much heavier. But Mendelssohn actually could rapidly play. That's why he has so many triplets and 16th notes in his pieces, because it was very easy for him to play. So I think when we approach Mendelssohn's music, we can lighten up the weight that we're putting in the key. That's also going to help you with clarity, and that should be easier to keep things clean.
Thank you.
I did think that your second theme had a really nice contrast. I felt like that was really clear, and it just was like a whole scene change. That was really exciting for me. And yeah, I think everything that is legato should be practiced staccato, and that's really going to help you to be clear. So thank you.
It's great to have comments. I am to say, but not quite, is congratulations. I do know.
Oh, is it my turn? Sorry. So, congratulations first. This is it's a fun piece, right, to play.
Yep.
And yeah. So, I just got a few comments. I mean, I completely agree with Michelle, and also I think giving yourself more time for for the rhythm and for the expressivity would be awesome. So when you practice it or when you're performing it, give yourself more time. Try not to to go like choo-choo train. Be really calm, more time, and I think that will actually make the piece more expressive and more exciting in that sense. Yeah. Congratulations once more.
So it was really, really difficult to play, and you start from last summer, and you already learned so much, and I really appreciate for your hard working. So in my opinion, if you will play slow and with metronome, it will be really helpful for you, because sometimes you rush and speeding. So if you do metronome plays and work with finger job, that every finger can play exactly in time, that it will be really helpful. And I agree with my colleagues totally, and everything what they have said. It's perfect help for you. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. Perfect.
Thank you.
Hello. Yes, so we'll have one more judge, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Yes, here we go.
Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties, and so I didn't hear anybody's comments, but I did hear your playing. So I want to say congratulations. I'm sure it was a good test for you to see where you're at in your learning curve for this piece. It sounds maybe you've been playing it for a couple of months, and so for me, I think it's just about improving technically and understanding the difference, I think, between playing Mendelssohn as opposed to Brahms or Bach. So I felt like it could have a more lighter touch, maybe a little more clear, so that I could really get the style of Mendelssohn. For me, it's just a little, it should sound easier. And maybe, again, the pianos were different back then, but I think you can just sort of take sections and practice them. You have a real natural approach to playing the piano, so I love that about your playing. So, anyways, thank you and congratulations on your, you know, your process.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Joel. It takes a lot of courage to want to be in this kind of performing situation, and I really want to appreciate the fact that you took the time to perform this for us. The Mendelssohn Second Concerto is not often performed, and I loved hearing it. So thank you very much for playing for us today and being a part of this virtual stage. So our next contestant will be Natalie Hahn. She is 17, and she's coming to us from New York, the US. It's a pleasure to hear some of her playing today. She'll be playing Kim Sherman's Reflections, Bach Prelude in B-flat minor, and Charles Mayer's Le Regret, Valse Melancholique. And she's nominated for the miniature category, which is a really special category where we play, contestants will play shorter pieces in order to highlight the little gems that we have in our repertoire. She's a pianist, and so there's a lot of beautiful little short pieces in piano too, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your playing. So thank you, Natalie. Take it away.
Hi everyone. I'm not sure if you can. Hi, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I actually just wanted to clarify that I won't be playing the Le Regret Charles Mayer piece. It's just going to be the Bach and the Kim Sherman.
Lovely job. I really enjoyed the second piece, the reflections. I think what I enjoyed most about it was I felt your comfort in the style of playing, and you seem to enjoy yourself and take time when you wanted to take time. And that's one of the things wonderful about playing solo music, is that you can let the music breathe in the way you see. For the Bach, I wish you felt a little more of that feeling of not that you have to be so perfect, and that you can take time in the phrasing with the scales and not and enjoy the harmonies like you enjoyed the harmonies in the second piece. So that is the challenge for all of us in playing Bach, is to, not get overwhelmed by the technical and really try to embrace all of the harmonies and the changes and not feel rushed or hurried. I felt like it got you a little nervous when you had to keep going, and you can just, again, let the music breathe a little more for the Bach. And I really loved your playing for the second piece. So great job. Thanks.
Yeah, great job. And also, I completely agree with Elizabeth. It's wonderful. The second piece, which I feel that you're enjoying it, wonderful. You're taking time, you're enjoying the harmony, and if you take that attitude back into the Bach, I think so. Give yourself more time between the notes, between the harmonies, between each beat, and trying to fill each beat with the sound and with your, I guess, with your attitude of enjoying the music. And I believe that will not only clean up the evenness of the rhythm, but that will also make the piece, sounds more glamorous. It's Bach. After all, it is not a mathematical game. So, yeah, congratulations.
It was lovely, and I agree with my colleagues. And also, I love second reflection, and I only want to hear more characters, more contrasts in this piece, more colors, and phrasing will be preferable. For me, I love to hear this also. So in Bach, when you started, I think, oh my gosh, it's beautiful sound, beautiful touch for piano, but you're panicking and you start to make mistakes. So don't panic. You have to express yourself, and it will be much better than you presented today. And my recommendation, if you play slow when you're practicing, very slow, very rhythmical, then you teach your fingers be in time, and it will also improve your clarity of sound and your music. So it will be like almost no mistakes. So, but what you did, it was really, really great. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Natalie. So just again, beautiful performance. Thanks for playing for us. I know many people who will not perform Bach in public, so it's very brave of you to do that. I'm also a pianist, so what I would recommend in a competition setting is to not start with Bach. You're going to be nervous, and there are too many 16th notes, and everyone panics and rushes. This is normal. So I would start with the other piece because you were so comfortable in it. I loved your expression. I loved your phrasing. I thought the voicing between the two hands was very clear. I always knew which hand had the melody and which hand was accompanying. I would say for the reflections to really let it open up in the C major section at the end, those big chords down, ba, 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 those are big bells. Those should really come out. And I think your dynamic level should have been at least one higher than where you went. So really go for it at the end and let that ring. And then you could go to the Bach and really start in a tempo that always think when you're performing Bach, you take it 10% under the tempo. So you have to start just under and settle down. You have to have your inner metronome that it's clicking. And make sure that you count yourself in before you start, right? Yeah, and then you start. Practicing in rhythms is really going to help you because if you practice in stopping on every fourth note, you kind of build in these speed bumps so that your fingers can't run away because you've practiced the muscle memory of stopping every four notes and kind of catching your breath so that it won't run away on you. So I would work that way, reverse the order, and you did great today.
Thank you.
Hello, Natalie. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for playing. I'm myself a pianist, and by the way, I just got in when you're about to perform, so I'm happy to have heard you play. Um, Regarding the Bach, I definitely agree with everything my colleagues have said. The only thing I'll add is breathe, breathe when you're playing. You're so tense that I could feel it from my side of the screen. So just breathe, relax. It's Bach. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, but it's still music. So breathe and make music. For the Kim Sherman, I love that piece. It's actually the first time that I'm hearing her, and first time that I'm hearing about the composer. Could you tell us a bit more about it and why her?
Yeah, sure. Actually,
And if you could get a bit closer to the mic too, so we can hear you, that would be great.
sure. Is this better?
Yes, much better.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, my piano teacher and I we commissioned this piece, Reflections by Kim Sherman. Kim Sherman is one of my piano teachers, Donna Friedman's good friends, and so I was lucky enough to be able to work with her on this piece. She met me a few times, and I talked about what I wanted in this piece and how I wanted it to be based in nature. And she was great to work with, and I'm really happy with how this piece turned out, and I really love it.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you right now, I am one of those pianists that focuses on living composers. So I definitely appreciate the fact that you had the courage to actually reach out to a composer, ask her to write you a piece. That just for that you go up in my book. So yeah, I love it. You definitely have an affinity with Miss Sherman and her compositions. I can tell that. Um, and maybe that's something for you to look at further if you're gonna pursue a career to focus more on her compositions than on classical. And I speak from experience. I play primarily living composers, so I definitely understand where you're coming from. Look, I love it. I would love to hear you play more of Kim Sherman. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. We actually had Kim Sherman with Donna Wang on our broadcast recently, and for those interested, you can go to our Facebook page or YouTube to check out the interview. She actually mentioned that she was commissioned to write pieces for Donna's students, and it's really wonderful how it's coming back full circle and you're performing it for us. So thank you so much, Natalie. It was a pleasure to hear Kim Sherman's piece today. Our next contestant is 16. His name is Gavin Rualo, and he's coming to us from New York, the USA. So without further ado, let's welcome him onto the virtual stage. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gavin Rualo, and I'm playing Maple Leaf Rag by Scott Joplin. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. Oh, I can hear myself. Yeah, wonderful. I feel like you're a little too serious for the piece. I mean, it's supposed to be a fun piece. I mean, watching you, I really hope that, you know, you crunch one or two smiles during the performance, and, you know, yeah, I think you're probably a little too serious about it. Yes, it is a competition, but, you know, we enjoy the music. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree that it has to be playful music. It has to have this sparkling attitude, you know, like that you have to enjoy and you have to love and play it with some kind of like almost joke, and it will change everything because you're so serious. You're like perfectly right and perfectly playing, but think about character and you will be perfect. Great performance. A little work, a little notes to fix it. Thank you.
That was awesome. I love this piece, Gavin. I hope you love it too. I played this at a competition when I was around your age in a Klondike days. So I had this big dress, and I think what we're saying here is that there's such a character to ragtime music, and you really have to embrace that when you play. So lots of good things are happening. I think Scott Joplin says that you need to play ragtime slowly enough until you catch the swing. And I'm missing the swing from you. Yeah? So I think it has to be a little slower, actually. Dun, da, 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 right? Because then you got to the ending, and I was like, ooh, how is he going to get through the ending? And you did, but I was nervous for you because I know those jumps, right? So I think you got to give yourself a break, like, and you want the idea behind this music is that people need to move to it. So we couldn't move because we were a little bit too tense. So help us to relax into the music with you and start a little bit under. And I thought the accents were really good, but you can exaggerate them, right? Because it's kind of like you don't know where the meter's going to hit. That's part of the music too, is that you're surprised by the rhythm. It's ragged rhythm, right? Ragtime music. So did you watch any movies from this era to prepare your interpretation?
No, but I've heard recordings that are supposed to be authentic by Scott.
Okay. Yeah, I think it can really help us when we're performing a piece to get into the mindset of the era. Like, how did people dress? How did they walk? How did they talk? How did they move? You know, because then that can really come through in how you're presenting the piece. That might give some inspiration. So, but you did great, and it was great to hear you.
Thank you.
Hello, Gavin. Very nice job. I agree with everything my colleagues have said. Yeah, just like what Michel was saying, it's way too fast. Let's put it this way, way too fast. Breathe, sing it, dance it. This is not about rushing. Ragtime is dance. So, and with you, I was kind of rushed through things. And Michel was also mentioning the chords, the jumps at the end. Yeah, those are horrible. And at the speed that you're doing it, it's even harder. So slow down, breathe, relax, enjoy what you're doing. This may be a competition, but at the end of the day, we're all doing music. So just relax and breathe. All right, great job. See you next time.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations. You obviously played really, really well. I agree with all of my colleagues. Many, many years ago, I used to play in a ragtime band. I grew up in Boston. I played in a ragtime band with a man named Gunther Schuller, who did all these arrangements for band. And we did all these recordings. And you couldn't possibly, like the pianist couldn't possibly play that fast, and like there would be no time for us to breathe. Right. So again, it's just the music has to breathe. All of the leaps in the breakout section, bum 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 bum. I mean, it's just total jazz. Watch the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You know, it's like you should be walking into saloon and just it's like everybody's having a good time, and there's a lot of variety. And it's hard to get when it's that fast. So I agree with everybody. You play so great. You just got to enjoy a little more and go watch some of those movies.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Gavin, for gracing us with some Scott Joplin. It's so wonderful to hear in a competition so many different genres, so many different kind of pieces. We have commissioned works, and now we have something from Scott Joplin. Our next contestant, Gabriel Wu, who is 17, is our first Canadian contestant of today's session 4. So I'm really happy to welcome him. He's coming to us from Ontario, and he's nominated for himself for the profound. He's nominated for the profound category, which is a category where he's able to perform works that are particularly more of the thoughtful, insightful nature. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing him play. Take it away, Gabriel. Thank you.
what a beautiful performance, Gabriela. I really enjoy, and I have everything like only positive impression. So I love what you did in Bach. I like this lyrical sound that you produce, and I like your technique, what you did, how you show all these voices, and how you hear it, and because you hear it and you provide it, so we did too. And this is multiple voices, lines. I love all these themes, melodies. It's perfectly herbal, so it's like wonderful. I like I like sound of your piano, and I like what you do. So you are very good musicians. Phrasing, dynamics, contrasts, like all this musicality. So I really wish you the best in your career. You're a wonderful musician. Thank you for playing with us, and hope to see you again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Gabriel. That was awesome. Like, so good. The Bach was so good. Like, the tempo was exactly, I mean, I was like nodding my head with the beat. And if we can lock into your rhythm, you've really got it, especially in a performance. So you must have drilled this thing for hours. It was really great. I could always hear the theme, da 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 da, ba, ba. Like it was super clear. Everything was really clear. I think you could probably use some more inflection in the 16th notes. So sometimes you can really draw people in by pulling back and lightening up some of the voices, and that would just create more depth in the texture and just be a little bit more interesting musically. Have you sang every line of the Bach individually?
Yeah, I did, and like I tried to join individual voices and try to combine different voices together to like help with the voicing because it's like multiple voices together.
Yeah, I could hear that you did that work. So make sure you always know which order of voices is of importance. Number 1, 2, but also define 3 and 4, because I think sometimes that could be a little bit more defined. So you really know, okay, these notes just need to be here, but they're not important at all. So I don't need to bring them out, and that will give more depth. Okay, this Rhapsody was awesome. I don't know it, but it was so good, and I am shocked at your legato octaves. It was such a rich, warm sound. I mean, the weight in the key is perfect, and you could really phrase these octaves, and those are all 5-5-5. So that's really hard to do, and you did it really well. I have a couple things. The opening needs more contrast, and you have these chromatic things that come over, and then you cross over and you do the chromatics there. All of those chromatic lines need to have inflection, so those notes are two the same. So there's all these little bubbly lines that come through, and you're going to be able to fix that if you sing while you're doing it. And then you have to build your pedal up. So sometimes you have too much pedal. It was drowning the harmony, and then sometimes you really need to listen to the resonance when you have those doon 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 chords, that it's really in layers and that we can hear that there's more sound. So you can think like an orchestra, the first chords would be the initial strings, and then the second chords would be the full orchestra, something like that, to help you visualize how can I work with the sound that I'm creating to build the level of that. The middle section was just super rich and gorgeous. Just watch the pedal. Sometimes it was covering what you were doing. Yeah, and again, at the end, I think your staccatos are too long. For me, they're a little bit too detached. I need more sharpness to the staccato. So just think about the finger speed of the tip of the finger, and maybe try to vary the tone that you're using on your staccatos. Just a thought. But it was really well prepared. It was really great.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Gabriel. Thank you for playing. A wonderful performance. The Bach was great. It's such a clarity. It's very good. Great job. For the Dohnanyi Rhapsody, similar to Michel, I didn't know about it until today. Actually, I haven't played it obviously either. But I love what you're doing. For the pedals, remember that the pedal can also be used with half pedal. You can also do half pedal. You can do less than half pedal. Play with that a bit when you practice with your teacher to clarify all of those spots. I think you would benefit from using half pedal in some spots. But otherwise, it's a great job. Congratulations, and looking forward to hearing you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Gabrielle. Congratulations. It's so interesting when you're sitting as an adjudicator. I heard 4 notes and I was like, this is going to be great. It's just amazing how just within one phrase, I just knew that I could relax, that I wasn't going to have to worry about you. And you proved me right. I mean, just absolutely exquisite playing, both pieces. I'm very particular about my Bach. So the only thing I could say about the Bach would be a little similar to what Michelle said, which is every now and then in your 16th notes, I missed some magical off the page kind of playing. I love how you take time with the harmonies and everything, but I just want to have you feel that the music, the page, the notes are absolutely gone, and that you're just showing all the music through all the little notes. Every now and then, it was clear all the time. I just feel like you could even go further in the Bach. But I love the Dohnanyi. I really did, dude. So much temperament and just absolute pleasure hearing you play, and I look forward to hearing you more in the future.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome job. I really enjoyed the performance. It's more of a personal opinion. So for the Allemande, it's a really slow German dance in the Baroque area. So if I were to to play it, I would add a bit more weight to the sound and the notes in character. Yeah, that's all I have to say with the Bach. And for the Rhapsody, I don't know if you realize there's a section probably near the end saying that with the greatest energy, I didn't feel enough energy. I mean, you can't really, express yourself and take the character to the peak over there. It's like about near the end, but not quite there. So I think where is it? Yeah, there's all. Yeah, it's a triplet section with all the accent on it. I mean, I hope to get more excited over there. So, yeah. But congratulations, it's a wonderful performance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all our judges' comments. It's really good. I really enjoyed the Bach and the Dohnanyi. Also, my first time hearing the Dohnanyi too. So, thank you for gracing us with that, Gabriel. It's a wonderful pleasure to hear you, and we hope to hear you more in the future. Our next contestant is Dora Meiwes from the US. She is nominated for the lyrical category, which we'll hear a lot of, I'm sure, in her music today. The lyrical category specializes in voice leading, in presenting a beautiful top line and melodic playing. And so I really look forward to hearing that from you, Dora. Let's hear it. Thank you.
Hi, Dora. How do you feel after that? That was so wonderful. Yeah, you feel good? Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh, wow. This is just really impressive playing. The Rachmaninoff was just, the opening phrase took my breath away completely. The sound was very grounded. It was very committed from the beginning, from the first phrase. You showed up with something to say, and you came with just a clarity and authority that was really, really strong opening. I thought your Rachmaninoff had a lot of good pacing. It was highly prepared. You had a lot of timing where you were really listening to what you were doing. Are your parents musicians?
My parents are musicians. My dad is a violin maker.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just feel like there's some kind of history in your background of people who are infusing musicality into you. So the biggest thing for me in the Rachmaninoff is I need way more legato in the phrasing. And a lot of times when you do slurs, you're actually accenting the first notes of the slurs. So with this type of music, there's a weight, there's a heaviness, there's magic between the notes. And I need you to isolate every single phrase, particularly in the middle sections, and to really sing those four notes. Sometimes it's just a and it has to be a sigh. It has to be a whole emotion that comes through it. And I'm hearing individual notes of all of this, and particularly have to get rid of the accents. Of course, with Rachmaninoff, you have to keep working for clarity. There's a lot of notes happening. You really have to isolate, again, similar to the Bach, which notes are important and which ones are just background, and how to balance things really well all the time. I thought you had lots of different colors. I was really just impressed. It seems like you've taken a lot of thought into the pacing overall of the sonata. So that was really good. Of course, you can go further, but particularly just focus on your legato. Jumping over to the Bach, I thought it was great. Again, it's super well prepared. Like, this is really advanced playing for me, so I'm really impressed. I think that you have too much weight in the key for the Bach. I'm missing clarity. I'm missing some sparkle, and sometimes the phrasing is bumping. It's inconsistent with the tone. And again, in the Rachmaninoff too, I felt like the tone was inconsistent in time. So once you pick the sound that you want, you have to really commit to that for that entire section. So with the Bach, also with the fugue, I think for me the staccatos are too short. It sounded a bit skittery to me. I think there's a way to have the detachedness without having the just keep it a little bit longer, and see if you can phrase always inflection. No two notes can be the same in a row. There always has to be bubbly. So you can practice this by, I think you need more weight in your arm, so you can maybe talk to your teacher about that. But in general, it was extremely well prepared and very high playing, so thank you.
Hello, Dora. Thank you for playing. Wonderful program, wonderful playing. Let me start with the Bach first. The Bach to me was very good. Obviously, I agree with everything Michel was saying. I'm just gonna add, think more bigger phrases. I had the feeling, and it might just be me and my personal taste, but I had a feeling that you're thinking more one measure, two measure phrases. Think longer phrases. That will help you with the whole phrasing. For the fugue, I think it might be a tad bit faster. For my taste, it's a bit too fast. So slow down just a tad bit. That will help you with your staccato as well and the clarity of the whole thing. Rachmaninoff, what a sonata. So let me ask you this: why the original version? Why not the second?
I think the original version, like, it's more complex. It has more notes, but I think that like adds to like the beauty of when you're able to highlight the melodies in those complex sections. And so I feel like the annotated version like takes a little bit away.
So I'm asking you this. The sonata is in my repertoire. I play it often. The majority of us pianists tend to play the second version. Very few take the risk of playing the original. And I love that you decided to do the original. What I would like personally more in a Rachmaninoff is much more sinking, much more. I'm trying to find the correct word. You told us a story, but I don't think you completely opened yourself and you gave us the full story. If you see what I'm saying, musically, you have to completely open yourself to each voice. Okay, to be a bit more specific, I could use a bit more inner voices personally. And I do think your Meno Mosso could be just a tad bit calmer, but again, that's personal opinion, personal preferences on how to play it. Otherwise, it's wonderful. I would love to hear you play the last movement of that sonata one of those days. So I hope to get the chance. Congratulations.
So play just one more. Always.
Hi. So, yeah. Congratulations. I really loved your playing. Wonderful job. Completely agree with my colleagues. Yes, for the Bach, if you can think in longer phrases, I think it will give you actually more liberty in, in creating beautiful sounds. And I think, yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say. Congratulations, wonderful playing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And from me, congratulations. And I think you have great power, like sometimes monster sound and beautiful lyrical sounds that I really appreciate. Some notes from me, I agree with everything what my colleagues said. Maybe in Rachmaninoff, not so big monster sound, because when you use a lot of pedal, it's become to be too much noisy. I prefer that it will be explosion in the phrasing, and don't do long phrase and monster sound. That's what I feel. So in Bach, like, I need a little more sound, a little bit, and more balancing between voices, because right hand it's more brighter and left hand it's hiding a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I love it. I really enjoy your performance for sure. You are great as a musician, and your ability to play everything, it's impressive. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Congratulations, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Dora. We actually had Dora and her wonderful teacher, Irene Perry Fox, on our broadcast. And so if you go to our Facebook or our YouTube channel, you'll be able to find this broadcast we did together where we talked about how to prepare for performances as spectacular as you heard tonight. So thank you so much again, Dora. It's a lovely pleasure to be able to hear you again. Our next contestant is Terry G. He's also from the US, and he's 19, and he has been nominated for the Profound category, which is a category that specializes in finding insightful pieces and playing pieces that have a lot of depth in the music, but also in the context behind it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your playing, Terry. Thank you.
Wow. Uh, wow. Terry, congratulations. This is phenomenal. That's all I got to say. Phenomenal. Um, uh, and I am not to be picky, but I got nothing to be picky about here. You did phenomenal. Just a couple of small comments. Yeah, you're gonna call me picky, but I'm just a couple of things. Um, in the second, in etude number 2, be careful with your right hand. For me, there wasn't enough clarity, and careful with the pedal. For that one. Variation 5, also careful with the pedal, a bit too much pedal for my taste, and careful with your voicing. And etude number 9, I would do it myself. I would do it a much lighter in the beginning, but that's personal taste, and I'm being very picky here. I really congratulations. This is a great performance. I just had to sit back and enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Again, wow, 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 wow. How long did it take you to learn this piece and memorize it?
About 4 months. Yeah.
That's just phenomenally impressive. To memorize all of that and have the internal understanding is just congratulations so much. I don't have a score in front of me. I'm a flutist, but I will tell you, just the variety was wonderful for all the movements. I agree with what August said about the pedal. Sometimes I feel the pedal is too much and I lose a little of the clarity. And again, I don't know if it's the internet, the sound. Every now and then I feel like you could find even more of a beautiful sound. The colors for me, I was looking sometimes in the soft to be even more magical, even off of the page. So that's the only thing I really have to say is just when you're playing soft, I feel like you can get a different color, like a beautiful quality. And again, I'm not sure how much it is just the internet, but I would push yourself on the soft side of things even more. But just amazing, wonderful.
Thank you. I'll continue to work towards that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for performing it. I really enjoyed it, by the way. Just a couple things, really small. So for the second etude, I don't know if you're familiar with chamber music or like string quartets or playing. Yeah.
Yes.
So like the inner voice sometimes playing, which is in the second etude, that you have bum 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 bum, those type of thing, and those type of thing is sometimes in the orchestra or in chamber music what second violin or viola is doing. And sometimes, let me tell you, these kind of pulses or these repeating notes have the effect of affecting the main melody line. So how you're playing those pulses can actually determining the entire character of the piece. So I encourage you to spend some time trying to explore how you can, to do something about those things and make it more interesting. I think that will provide more expressive sound in your playing. And also in the fifth etude, there are marked sforzando in some of the places, right? I hope I can hear more of that. And finally, in the 12th etude, it's wonderful. I just hope the returning of the theme can be more proud, because several times it's marked fortissimo, and before I think it's forte before or something, and I hope the fortissimo can be more proud, and so on. And as I understand, Schumann is a person in the early 19th century who defines the virtuosity along with Franz Liszt. So maybe can dive into the history a little bit, find a more not the right character, but the more insightful or more profound character for the Schumann, and trying to incorporate it with the piece. I think it will bring you to another whole different level, and it will yeah, it will make you just playing amazing. But thank you so much for playing. I enjoyed it so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, next wow from me. I really enjoy your play, and all moments what my colleagues have said, I supporting, and from me, I really love how you concentrate in this music, and how you are totally in this music, like you out of reality, and this aura around you playing. It's really impressive. May I have ask you a question? Why Schumann?
I'm sorry.
Why Schumann? Why did you choose this piece?
I was actually wanting to play a more advanced and a good challenging piece, and this was one of my favorite composers, so it definitely challenges me to play with more extremes and more contrast, which was something that I've always struggled with. So so I wanted a very difficult piece, and I found a very good recording of this and was absolutely inspired. And then I found out that it's actually a really, really hard piece and near recording. But I've enjoyed working on it as well.
Beautiful, beautiful play. Thank you so much. I really enjoy your play. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Terry, everybody was very congratulatory, so I will echo them. It was very well prepared, high standard of playing, absolutely great job well done today. But you're here to learn, right? So I'll give you a couple ideas and you can see if it'll help you. So for me, I was wondering if you had thought about how the variations go into each other and how they... I like that you mentioned that you're working on your contrasts and the character changes, because I think that it kind of has to be that the scene changes, and if you've been to an opera or something, you know, they close the curtains, they change the set, and then the curtains open again, and it's something completely different. So there can't be any leftovers from a previous scene. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
have you kind of, it's really important that you're a little bit ahead when you're preparing. And I know there was a couple of variations where they started a bit and it was like, oh, whoops, I'm here now. That's the feeling I had. So just that you can kind of, as you finish a variation, try to think just even one bar, like, okay, what's my next scene change? Where am I going? What's happening? In general, I think that all of your staccato variations can be way lighter. I think that's going to help you create more contrast. Everything was a little bit the same in terms of the weight for me. And of course, we're online, so I can't see exactly what you're doing. But I think that might be interesting. And for example, in variation 2, when you have the da 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 da, like all of those repeated notes, those can be much less. I felt that it can just be kind of a hum in the background or something, that it's creating an atmosphere, but not necessarily so forward. Just experiment with how little can you play something where we still hear it, but it's not at the front of the scene. I think that'll help with creating contrast. And then the only thing I missed was at the end in the last theme. Like I miss that long line, and sometimes I feel it's like a little bit individual with the notes. So practice without staccatos and play it straight through until you feel like you can express that line to the end, and then add back in the staccatos and the rhythm and see if that helps it be a little bit more expressive. But in general, I thought you're doing great with this piece. It inspired me. I want to go practice it now. So well done. It was great to hear you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Terry, for presenting such a monstrous piece. As a pianist, I know how difficult this is to play. Schumann's also one of my favorite composers, and there's a lot of beautiful works to look forward to, especially if this is your first Schumann work. On to our next contestant, who is Sherry Heeb. She will be, she's coming from us from Ohio, the USA, and she'll be playing in the profound category, which is looking for, again, more insightful depth within the music, and I'm really looking forward to hearing you play. Thank you, Sherry.
Hello, my name is Sherry Heeb, and I'll be playing Xiong by Schumann from Opus 12, number 2.
Thank you so much for playing for us. Congratulations for doing that. You know, we think it's so easy to just go out there and perform in front of people, and I just hats off to you for presenting yourself in such a good way. I think I could tell you were maybe a little nervous. So I think when we're performing, for me, what helps me is to remember what I love about the music and get in touch with that. And I think that'll help you. I felt in general, I could use more fluidity through the sections. When you change sections, that you can give yourself time to enjoy the transitions and then to think about the larger picture. It felt a little like the 6/8 was a little vertical at times. So, and I think the piece is, I'm sure the pianists know what it means. It's soaring, or I don't have the music in front of me. So I think you can just try to embrace your love for the music as much as possible. Will help you to relax, I think. So, but good for you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry, for playing, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Actually, just a small thing. Yes, I agree with what Elizabeth said. It feels a bit vertical. So for me, it seems that it's a little boxed up. So I really hoping you can really push out of the box and think about it vertically. So horizontally. So to have the flow for the music, especially when you were closer, like about closer to the end, when you have dun da 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 da, like all those 16th notes. Think about it, like keep it rolling, like like I don't know, I can think of something, but yeah, keep it rolling. I think it will be awesome. And just two really small details, like in the middle of the piece, I noticed there were two accents that is on the second beats of the measure. If you can really bring those out, that will make the music really different, because it always, we always have the downbeats and then the upbeats. When the accent is on the upbeats, if we can bring those out, it will be just, it will transcend the music much more. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you.
And thank you for playing this amazing music. A little moments, I think at the beginning it was a little slow, so it's not really excitement what I was expected. But I love your lyrical moments, and it's beautiful. And to help you relax, maybe I can share my experience. So as usually before performance, I sing through from beginning to the end, everything what I have to sing or play. So when you're singing, you prepare your brain to play, and you stop thinking about that you worry and this like for difficulties or for tempo or for something else. When you set your mind to do this, then you do this simple, and you don't think anymore about something that can happen or something, because you program your brain to play, so you play. But really congratulations, beautiful music. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
Hi, Sherry. Thanks so much for playing for us. I am just assuming that you're a piano teacher. Do you have a studio of students? Yeah, they just must be so impressed by you. I think it's really important that teachers are also players, because it really reinforces what we give to our students in the lesson. So by you providing that vision for them, that you perform and you show what it looks like, that's really influencing a lot of your students. So I hope that you're also playing at the student recitals. Yeah, that's just so important. So well done with that. And especially to be in a competition. I hope that they're watching you live, because they should be really proud of you. So this was a great piece for you. I thought that the character was really well defined. I feel like you were connecting to it really well. As pianists, we have 10 fingers, so we have to try and create different sounds with each finger. So I would really recommend that you practice your layers and isolate each layer so to really define the sound of each layer. So, for example, we have these da 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 with all of your pinkies, and then with your right hand, do 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 do. So I need really two distinct clear sounds in my right hand for that section. on top of that, I need my bass line to be singing this nice moving phrase at the bottom. So, I mean, I'm assuming you've worked like this, but I would just encourage you to continue working where you're isolating each thing, singing each line individually, just like how we work Bach, and listening for those different sounds. And then, I mean, I liked how your theme came in, da 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 da, and I am agreeing with my colleagues that it can just be more phrased and fluid with the opening theme. And just remember that what you focus on is what your attention is going to go to. So when we do have these difficult technical things, try to focus on the melody instead, which was your left hand. And then hopefully your right hand mechanism, your muscle memory will just kick in and it'll carry you through while you focus on singing the left hand. But if we focus on what is difficult, sometimes it can just not be as we prepared it. So just a couple tips. I hope that helps. And again, congratulations.
A big thank you to our judges for such encouraging comments, and Sherry, thank you for taking the leap of faith to perform on our virtual stage. Thank you so much. Our next contestant is Christian Lampkin, who is from the US as well, and he's our flute player. It's finally something different, not just all piano, and he is in the innovative category, which is a way for musicians to find different ways to present their material and to be innovative, creative, and their own artist in the way that they present their music. So I'm really looking forward to hearing you, Christian. Take it away.
Thank you. I just wanted to say a quick note about my program that I chose today. I will be presenting a solo flute program, 2 works by 2 very different composers, but 2 composers who were both inspired by fantasy. And so I've gone on ahead and dedicated this little program here for you today to a lot of the social injustice that's been happening in my country, in the hope that we can find unity through fantasy. Thank you. I did have one more piece. Oh, okay. Is it okay to play that, or are we doing something? Okay. Should...
Yes, please go ahead, Christian. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, so play the other piece, Chris?
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Christian, congratulations on the performance. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
Let's get into the Telemann first, okay? Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with the Baroque style. So at least in violin, there's a sort of a heavy or light bowing. I think it will also apply to some of the flute playing as well, especially on Baroque flute. So we have down bow as heavy and up bow as light. So especially in this, I really appreciate that you're trying to emphasize the lower notes. I know it's difficult to project those notes in flute, but it's a bit too heavy at this point. So like dum da dum da dum, those small notes are slightly too heavy for me. And then thank you so much for putting the ornamentations. They're lovely. They're virtuosic. Thank you so much. And then when you go into the Allegro in the first movement, it can actually settle down a bit more. Yeah, it can settle down a bit more. The same as when you're going back to the Largo at the end of the Allegro. Yes, yeah, and yeah, that's the Telemann, I think, for most of the part. And for the second piece, the Yuha, so it's about a Korean goddess, right? Yeah, a Korean goddess. First of all, I would like to thank you for playing such a beautiful sound at the beginning. However, it is only an intro, so think about it as, you're watching a movie. It is from a big landscape, a big scene, and then you're focusing. So at first you can make the sound feel like it's coming from far away. So yeah, that's that. And let's see, is there anything else? Oh, and also when you transition into the 6/8, it can settle down a bit more. Like, yeah, definitely settle down a little bit. And where's another place? Oh, finally, sorry. About measure 79 and measure 80 before the moderato, that piano can be more piano. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, well done. A little small notes, comments. I'd love to hear a more legato sound. When you're jumping from intervals, I know that it's difficult to play low notes, but you still keep it a little light, because every time you jump, you do tam pom, and it's like a little make it more vertical lines instead of horizontal lines. So one more comment. If you play solo, try to memorize, even if it's hard, if it's take time, because it can resolve a lot of problems with your playing, because when you're memorizing, you already live with this music. You can build the phrases, you can build contrast, because it's become to be yours, not it's what it's in the music. Because when you look at music, you look at small phrases, you don't see big picture of this, and it will help with legato, with characters, with everything. And about second piece, I love it because it's a lot of very colorful sound. Also, if it will be more horizontal lines, it will be more appreciating. But it's beautiful and well done. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for playing. I really liked the third piece, so I was glad that you added it. I just felt like overall you were very confident in your presentation and that you were very sure of yourself, and that comes through in your stage performance, so that's important to note. I just agree with my colleagues. I think I missed maybe a bit of clarity in the technical passages. When the notes get faster, for me they were a bit unclear or sometimes muddled, and maybe clarity might help with that. I mean, of course, the flute players coming after all of us. We're trying our best to give, but we can't help you technically, but that's just my impression. I did think you had a lot of beautiful soaring lines. I missed some contrast. I think if you give some pianos that are really, really go there and experiment, how can you really draw our ear that you're directing our listening very carefully towards something? I think you have more room to go on those low ends of the pianos, and also to play lighter. I think it helps us to have more variety in the sound. Of course, we're online, so we're doing our best, but those are my impressions. But of course, I always appreciate when the performer shares a bit about the music and why he chose the music. That helps us also get the framework of what you're presenting. So yeah, thanks for sharing this music with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, here comes the flute player. So I first want to say I agree with all of my colleagues, even if they don't speak in technical speak as a flutist. I agree with everything they say. I'm probably going to talk to you in technical speak a little of how you can get some of the things they were talking about. I appreciate you talking. I always love that, and I love your sentiment. And I feel like you are more comfortable in the Hailstork than you are in the Telemann. That's
For
just
sure.
like you have, it's just, it seems so in your wheelhouse, the Hailstork. You have this great big personality. And I think what you have to learn with all of that greatness you have is how to get that all into the little hole of the flute without overblowing. And so what's happening to you, particularly in the Telemann, is there's a lot, I'm going to be technical, is there's a lot of air going extraneously over the hole, and you're not going into, it's like the bow probably on the string of an instrument. You're just putting all this air out there, and it needs to be a little more directed into the flute. And so that you don't overblow, but you find your way into the sound. And that will help you in the fast part of the Telemann and the slow part, so that you can, and I agree very much with what they say about the feeling of strong and weak feet, but it's diminishing returns. The harder you blow, the louder it's going to be. It doesn't work that way on the flute. It's all about getting the core of the sound and the ring, and you have such a great feel for artistry and musicality, and you have a wonderful personality. So it's just exploring for me a little more the traditions of the Baroque style of playing. I play in a Baroque orchestra in New York, the Orchestra St. Luke's, and I play Baroque flute. So it really is kind of something I feel very strongly about. So you might listen to some Baroque recordings, play with a little less vibrato, a little air, but you have such a great spirit and a wonderful personality, and that comes through in your terrific playing. So congratulations. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all our judges for these comments. I think one of the most amazing parts of our competition is that once you play, and hopefully Christian will agree with me, that you get this validation, you get some closure and about what you did and whether it actually reached the audience, and to have that is really, really amazing. And we'll bring our co-founder, Dr. Anna, on as well, and she's our co-host, as well as just all the brains and genius behind everything that we do here today. So
that's too much, Chris.
She really is.
Too much of an introduction.
Fantastic show. Thank you.
This has been fantastic. So thank you so much, everyone, for your such a generous, such a rich input. And like Chris said, it's amazing how our music can reach our colleagues and bounce back. Sometimes I get compliments for things I had no idea I did well.
Yeah.
We all expect, constructive criticism, but sometimes getting compliments, and I was listening to all the comments from the judges, and I was thinking, can I enter this competition maybe? I'd like these comments.
It's nice to know sometimes what you're doing well, because I think we tend to focus a lot on what we're not doing well, and sometimes that gets into our own heads. But there are so many beautiful things we do as musicians, and it's nice to have that recognition sometimes. So yeah, this is really great. Thank you to all our judges. You've been fantastic. I know a lot of, it's a lot of listening, but it's also just, and maybe you're giving comments to people you don't know the instrument of, but I really appreciate all the input you have. We're all musicians, so we all have something to say.
Yeah, and I like very much to hear comments from people who are not pianists. For me, that's so important because when I was a student, of course, I was, working with piano teachers and piano circles and piano competitions and piano exams and piano everything. But once I got out of diapers of being a student, the rest of my life, I work mostly with musicians who are not pianists. I do play some piano duets, but not much. Majority of it is with string players, wind players, and singers. And I wish I had that feedback from other instrumentalists earlier than I started getting it. I mean, I got into chamber music early, but still, I wish I had that opportunity to hear how my lines sing from singers and flute players as opposed to always pianists.
Yeah, definitely. So yes, that wraps up our session 4 of the semi-finals, and we have many more to come. We have another 3 sessions to come, and this is in a really amazing way to hear.
Oh, wait a second, we lost our judges, but I want to give them an opportunity to wrap up.
Yes.
Let's bring the judges back and give them a chance to speak to the audience. Okay, I'm not going to call you out. Just step on and speak. Let's finish the lesson, this session with just a quick message to our contestants and everyone who is watching, please.
Okay, I can start. I'm really happy to be part of this amazing competition. We are giving a chance for our contestants to play, to compete, to enjoy music. It's a great opportunity that can start a career as musicians. And Anna, you are doing and your team doing absolutely amazing job. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Galina. We're doing it all together. Your input is the meat of it. Okay, counterclockwise. I'm seeing Michelle next.
It's been a wonderful honor for me to be here and listen to all these great contestants tonight. I'm feeling inspired. I've really appreciated hearing my colleagues' comments, and overall I'm extremely impressed with the technical setup. I had some people messaging and saying, how is it listening online? And I thought, it's amazing. Why don't I know how to do this for my own Zoom concerts? So I think I need to do some research, but it's a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Michelle, very much. Moving on to Jerry. Jerry, you're new to our the whole system and our competition. How does it feel for someone jumping in? And I'm so grateful you were able to jump in.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is actually wonderful. Thank you so much for setting this competition up. I am inspired. I am really enjoying myself this afternoon, and just for saying, I would love for if anyone is watching, I would love for you guys to actually give a big applause to all the contestants and the performers. You guys should know how hard it is for us to step onto the podium, or sitting or standing in front of the camera and playing. This takes courage. It takes a lot, and I congratulate all of them. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you for bringing this up, Jerry. That's a great point. It takes enormous courage to perform in front of the camera and imagine the big concert hall behind it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, would you like to help wrap
yes,
up? Yeah.
So I just second, third, fourth, everything my colleagues said. It's great to see everybody, and I have to say, it's interesting that this has become the norm. Actually, when you did this competition and you started this, it was really something very unique, doing a competition online. And now I think this is something, so you sort of set the bar, you set the standard for this. And again, to the players, everybody who plays, it's not easy to do that, to play for a microphone. And I applaud everybody, and I agree with Michelle. The sound quality is really very good, and I need to take some lessons from you all. Still learning this, but great to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. You were with us last year, and the technology is improving, and it's only going in the direction of better. I think it sounds better than it did last year. Did you think?
Yeah, definitely. And also, what I love is that it's actually live. You're hearing contestants play live. You're not hearing recordings that are submitted and then people press play. It's actually live, and so mistakes and slips and everything and all, you get the whole package. And I think it makes it more exciting for our audience who are listening online to know that this is actually live and they're performing from their teacher studios or their living room. It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's connection. The music exists to exist live. There's no question about it. Yeah, we can preserve our art form in very polished recordings, and that's really great to build a library. But that's a library. But the real music as a language, as a communication, it's meant to exist live. And maybe the online form with the developing technology will be another eventually. Liz, I think you're right. When we started, we were first and everybody looked at us, you've got to be crazy doing this. Now, so many people are doing it because it's another way for us to connect, and it's becoming more and more reliable. And I think eventually we'll get used to this stage. There was a time when opera houses didn't exist, so musicians had to get used to tall 9-foot stages. Now we feel like that's our home, right? So we can get used to this one.
We already did.
We already did. Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you very much, judges. I know you still have some work to do. We'll be asking you, please join the judges' lounge, deliberation room, and make the decisions. The contestants all waiting for you to decide something, but don't feel pressured. We can announce the results tomorrow. No big deal. Okay. So
thank you to all our judges, and with that we're going to thank also our sponsors. We have History of Music, who's been broadcasting, distributing and helping us with all the back end and all these things that are necessary for social media and supporting our classical music channel, as well as just distributing our programs throughout this time, especially our broadcasts. And we want to thank some other people as well.
Oh, yes. I would like to thank very much all the supporters of the performers. There is a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I think it takes a whole city or a whole system of villages to raise a musician, because musicians need just so much variety of support. So I'd like to thank the parents, and especially the teachers, parents, and all the groups, and everyone who is giving the helping hand for musicians to grow and to build the confidence, to build their art, and to be able to step on various stages. Thank you very much for all that.
Yeah, and we also like to thank our Virtual Concert Hall's team. We have a big team behind, not a massive team, but it's a really important team, and it's a really fun team to work with. We have all these people who are behind the scenes setting up all the tech checks. We have people in the back end making sure that everything runs out smoothly. Sometimes we have contestants who are having trouble with the technology, and we have to help them out. And so there are a lot of people behind the scenes making this all happen, and it's really important. We thank all of them, especially our director for tonight, Ante Botrish-Kudric. It's such a pleasure to work with, and you're such an amazing, nice, generous person. So thank you for all that you do.
And there's something I want to note. Everyone on the back end who are directing the shows, preparing everybody's technology, doing the sound checks and the audio video design of these programs, everyone is a professional musician. So we musicians are not very narrow boxed people. We can learn a variety of things, and I'm so proud of the younger generation of musicians who are giving those helping hands to make those programs possible, to make them alive, and to produce them in such a great quality. They're amazing people.
Absolutely. Thank you for, it's really important.
And now many thanks to Chris for hosting this program.
It's my first time hosting this semi-finals, and there's more to come. Like we said, we still have more sessions of semi-finalists, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting our musicians and providing comments and live feedback. It's really important that you support us this way, because that way we know that we're getting some traction, and the contestants who are listening get to know that, oh, hey, people are listening to me play, and it's really important that there's an audience built up for them. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Dr. Anna, and thank you everybody as well.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. We have 2 more sessions at noon and at 4 p.m. Don't forget to tune in, make yourself present, make yourself noticed, And until then, goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.
See you.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressiva Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.